Syria finds itself grappling with a tumultuous aftermath following the fall of the Assad regime on December 8, 2024. The nation has been plunged into a dangerous power vacuum. This void has quickly been filled by a surge in violence, particularly targeting vulnerable minority communities. Among these, the Alawites, a group historically associated with the Assad regime, have become prime targets of aggression and fear for their safety. The rapid disintegration of the old order has paved the way for Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, to establish itself as the de facto ruling power. Led by Abu Muhammad Aljolani, also known as al-Shara, HTS has sought to assert its authority amidst the chaos. However, its rise has been marred by accusations of turning a blind eye to the plight of minority groups. Aljolani has publicly downplayed the seriousness of the violence, dismissing it as isolated individual cases. Yet this stance rings hollow in the face of mounting evidence revealing widespread attacks and systematic harassment of minorities across the country. The disconnect between HTS's rhetoric and the reality on the ground has done little to inspire confidence in its commitment to protecting vulnerable populations. The situation in Homs, a city scarred by years of conflict, exemplifies the volatile situation. On December 26, 2024, tensions erupted when a video, later revealed to be outdated, surfaced online, depicting the desecration of an Alawite shrine. This inflammatory imagery ignited protests among the Alawite community, which quickly escalated into gunfire, highlighting the fragility of peace and the potential for past grievances to resurface with alarming speed. The Alawite community, having enjoyed a position of relative privilege under the Assad regime, now faces an uncertain future fraught with anxiety and the looming threat of retribution. The shift in power dynamics has left them feeling vulnerable and exposed to potential acts of revenge. Their fears are not unfounded. Reports have emerged from various regions, including Tartus, a coastal city with a significant Alawite population, of clashes between pro-Assad militants and the newly established security forces. These confrontations have resulted in casualties, further deepening the sense of insecurity and fear among minorities. The situation in Latakia, another Alawite stronghold, has also been precarious. An incident involving the kidnapping and humiliation of HTS fighters by a former army officer, widely circulated on social media, has inflamed sectarian tensions. The incident underscores the deep-seated resentments that linger beneath the surface and the potential for such events to spiral out of control. Alawite religious leaders, recognizing the gravity of the situation, have attempted to engage with HTS, appealing for dialogue and a commitment to transitional justice. They have stressed the need for inclusivity and reconciliation to prevent further bloodshed and sectarian strife. However, their pleas have largely been met with silence, leaving the Alawite community feeling unheard and apprehensive about their fate. The international community, particularly the United States, has expressed growing concern over the escalating violence and the precarious situation faced by minority communities in Syria. Diplomatic efforts are underway to address the crisis and urge restraint. U.S. envoy Daniel Rubinstein recently met with Syria's new foreign minister, Assad Hassan al-Shibani, in Damascus to convey these concerns. Al-Shibani has, however, downplayed HTS's role in the violence, attributing it primarily to other factions vying for power. This assertion has been met with skepticism by some international observers. The U.S., along with other Arab countries, has made it clear that the formation of an inclusive government is a prerequisite for international recognition and support. A national dialogue is tentatively scheduled for March 2025, with the hope of establishing a technocratic government as a transitional step. However, the path towards a lasting and inclusive political solution remains fraught with obstacles. HTS, for its part, faces a multitude of challenges in governing a country ravaged by years of war and deeply divided along sectarian lines. The proliferation of weapons, the presence of numerous armed groups, and the daunting task of unifying these disparate factions into a cohesive national army remain significant hurdles. Moreover, the group's ability to provide basic services, rebuild infrastructure and foster economic recovery is severely limited, further exacerbating the challenges ahead. The future for minority communities in Syria remains shrouded in uncertainty. The fall of the Assad regime, while marking a significant turning point, has unleashed a wave of new challenges and dangers. The rise of HTS, with its ambiguous stance on minority rights and its struggle to establish control, has done little to alleviate these concerns. The Alawites in particular find themselves at a crossroads. Their historical dominance has vanished, replaced by a pervasive sense of vulnerability and fear of reprisal. While some cling to the hope of dialogue and a peaceful transition, others are bracing themselves for further hardship and marginalization. The international community's role in shaping Syria's future cannot be overstated. Continued diplomatic engagement, coupled with humanitarian aid and support for civil society organizations, will be crucial in mitigating the suffering of vulnerable populations and fostering an environment conducive to reconciliation. Ultimately, the fate of minority communities in Syria hinges on the ability of all stakeholders, both domestic and international, to prioritize the principles of inclusivity, justice, and accountability. Failure to do so risks perpetuating the cycle of violence and instability, with potentially devastating consequences for the country and its people.